It is the Crown Prosecution Service clarifying, as they put it, the situation regarding Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, and they say we can confirm that we have authorised charges against Andrew and Tristan Tate for offences including rape, human trafficking, controlling prostitution, and actual bodily harm against 3 women.
I know that when they drag us to jail for old cases from 10 years ago, while we are feeding children, feeding orphans during Ramadan, I know we're on the right side of history.
It is official. Andrew and Tristan Tate have criminal charges in the UK. We've known for some time that the UK authorities have a criminal case against the Tates, but we now have some more details about what these charges consist of. Funnily enough, a bit over a week ago, before this news broke, Andrew appeared on Tracy Harmash's podcast and brought up his UK criminal case. So first things first, let's let Andrew give us this insight into what he is accused of in his UK criminal case.
England now has some British case against me. They're saying in 2008, I assaulted somebody. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, doesn't even say. On the arrest warrant, it says 2008 assault. That's it. No time, no place, no person, no when, no where. Imagine I told you 15 years ago you assaulted someone. And you defend yourself.
Did I?
No, well, you're like, who, where,
Exactly.
when, what?
But you know what
You don't even have a clue what they're talking about.
That was Andrew Tate 8 days ago as I'm recording this, giving us the exclusive insights that the UK authorities are saying that in 2008 he assaulted somebody. Now, if we just have a look at what the Crown Prosecution Service themselves have confirmed that these charges consist of, and oh my god, Andrew Tate faces 10 charges connected to 3 alleged victims, including rape, actual bodily harm, human trafficking, and controlling prostitution for gain. Tristan Tate faces 11 charges connected to 1 alleged victim, including rape, actual bodily harm, and human trafficking. Despite Andrew's comments that you just heard, according to the Tate's own legal representatives, these allegations date between 2012 and 2015. One big revelation from these charges is that for the first time, Tristan Tate has joined his brother as being charged with rape. The first we heard of this criminal case against the Tates in the UK was in March 2024, when the brothers were arrested and detained for 24 hours as UK authorities put in a request to extradite the Tates from Romania for these charges. What the Tates are terrified of their fans cottoning onto is the fact that this extradition was approved. What this means is that if, hypothetically, the case in Romania was dismissed, the Tates would immediately be arrested, put in handcuffs, thrown in a plane, and transported to the UK to answer for these charges. I thought it would be interesting to go back and look at what the Tates were saying at the time of this arrest and extradition agreement in March 2024. Of course, they were telling all sorts of ridiculous lies, like always, but one thing they were being truthful about back then, which they aren't now, was the time frame of these allegations.
The fact that they are now seeing that we're going to win this case and have pulled up some garbage from 2012, I mean, if that doesn't demonstrate to the world that this is a matrix attack, and I know a lot of people, especially in the media and other establishments, don't understand how these things work, but they're not allowing us to win. They don't want us to win, and they've realized they need to get desperate, so they've gone all the way back to 2012. They're accusing me of crimes which happened 15 years ago. They're not even telling me against who. 15 years ago, you did something wrong. To who? We can't tell you. The British government is saying I hurt someone 15 years ago, but they won't tell me who. Imagine they said to you or your husband, 15 years ago you hurt somebody. Who? Won't tell you who. But they have time to drag up allegations on me from 15 years ago. Why are they dragging up allegations on me from 15 years ago?
As these two degenerate clowns have shown us time and time again, there comes a point when it is just impossible to keep up with one's own lies. During the Tate's emergency meeting stream after this arrest in March 2024, they also made a desperate attempt to downplay the seriousness of these allegations, saying that it was for sexual violence, being too rough during sex.
It said Tristan committed acts of sexual violence, too rough during sex. Sexual violence, we don't know where, we don't know when, we don't know against who, maybe at some point in these 9 months, 11 years ago, send this man to jail without a trial.
During this time, we saw the Tates start to create confusion by lying and saying that this criminal investigation was connected to the same 4 women who are suing Andrew civilly in the UK High Court, whose complaints the Crown Prosecution Service declines to prosecute in 2019.
The CPS then threw this case away. Case closed, no further action, innocent men, done. Then, this Matrix attack happens in Romania. And this girl thinks, I can get money. So she sends a little dork. She hired her lawyer, who was a DNG. He's about this tall. So then he's run back to UK and convinced the UK, because we're going to win this case, to turn a case which was closed, which then went into a civil case where they were begging me for money, into criminal charges in an attempt to extradite/remand us in perma jail from an event that I was already cleared of any wrongdoing back in 2012. They reopened it to try and put us in jail because they had nothing else. I know that when they drag us to jail for old, previously closed cases from 10 years ago, while we are feeding children, feeding orphans during Ramadan, I know we're on the right side of history.
During this time of March 2024, Matthew Jury, the lawyer representing the 4 women in the civil case, confirms that this criminal investigation was not connected to his clients, meaning that there were now more women in the UK reporting to the police that the Tate brothers had committed crimes against them.
I want to finish it up on this note because I understand, Matthew, you have been speaking quite publicly about your concern over disinformation that has been coming out. If you can briefly explain what you mean by that and how it relates to these recent developments.
Well, I had the unfortunate displeasure of having to watch some of Andrew Tate's so-called, emergency war room alert sessions or whatever he calls them the other evening. And it's fairly clear what they're trying to do is they're trying to suggest that somehow this extradition request is either as a consequence of the civil case, it's not, or it's connected to the Hertfordshire victims, our clients, it's not. It's actually in respect of additional new complaints brought by additional women on top of the existing complaints and the victims that we already know about, thereby increasing the number of women who have brought allegations of rape and serious sexual violence against Tate. And that's what they're trying to avoid people cottoning on to, that this increases the numbers of women who are out there who are saying that Tate raped them.
Ever since the Crown Prosecution Service made these charges official public knowledge, Andrew has just been a hysterical mess, uploading videos, rambling incoherent nonsense. He's not only giving the "if it can happen to me, it can happen to you" routine, he's going as far as saying that if you don't believe he's innocent, they are going to kill you.
I am a reminder of what is going to happen to every single man in the dystopian future which they are trying to build for us. And what they are doing to me is the same thing they tried to do to Trump, and it is the same thing they're going to do to every single one of you. What they are doing to me is coming to every single man who wants to protect the sanctity of his child's mind. If you do not want your kids learning propaganda in school, they will destroy you. What they're doing to me is the same thing they will do to every single man who refuses to take a vaccine because Pfizer wants to make money, even if it gives you turbo cancer. What they're doing to me, they will do to you. What they're doing to me is the same thing they will do to every single man who feels a patriotic love for his homeland, the homeland his ancestors built, fought, and died for. What they're doing to me, they're going to do to you too. They may kill me first, but they're going to kill all of us. If you believe these opportunistic women who have been promised money to lie, sooner or later, they're going to kill you.
I think there is good reason why Andrew is an incoherent mess. If we look at the Tate's human trafficking charges alone, they are looking at potential life sentences in prison. And I must again emphasise the extradition of both Tate brothers from Romania to the UK is approved. They cannot avoid them unless they flee and end up as international fugitives. I personally would be shocked if there isn't more charges coming for the Tates in the UK. For a start, we know that Andrew filmed a BDSM sex tape with a 14 or 15-year-old child in 2012 in the UK. He's charged in Romania with trafficking her as a minor, and we know for a fact that he had her producing pornography on webcam before she turned 18. I would be shocked if the UK isn't preparing child pornography charges and other crimes against minors, at the very least for Andrew. I'm convinced that all of the Tate's alleged crimes in Romania should never have been allowed to happen. 3 of Matthew Jury's clients reported Andrew to the police in 2014 and 2015. The investigation was completely botched. The Hertfordshire police did not hand the file to the CPS until 2019, by which time the Tates had fled to Romania and the CPS declined to prosecute. Matthew Jury and the team at McHugh Jury and Partners are campaigning for an inquiry into how this investigation was handled and for the CPS to reconsider their decision. In the meantime, these women have been given a trial date in their civil case against Andrew for February 2027. They have been crowdfunding to bring this to the High Court. Until they have the funds they need, I'm going to share the link in the description of all my videos. Despite the fact that according to Tate in his lawsuit against us, this is defamation. I will be sure to also share any updates as they come for any of the Tate's cases in Romania, the UK, the US, or wherever else they pop up. If you'd like to keep up to date, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell.